Hey guys, what's going on? This is Thomas here. I know I haven't talked in a while. I don't talk a lot lately. I got a busy life. Sometimes when I record, I just record something nice and put music or something with it. But I'm gonna check on some things here and maybe name some names like this carpet here, starting to fill in. A lot of things are kind of changed but not changed in here. Just some things are growing. But this is rotala mexicana guayas, and it's it's a pretty neat little carpet. It's kind of a weird carpet. It's green, but the ends are kind of pink, depending on your light. If you have certain light, it's maybe more of an orange. There's one sprout here. I thought they were all dead, but this is a Pantanal. Ludwigia Pantanal. It's like one. The little dead looking purple white one back there, that's another one. And I guess that one's dying off, so. But this little colored grass up back here, that's Juncus repens. Usually it's green, but in this tank it turns orange, like this. This one here is kind of an orangey pink. So let me just back up and show the whole tank real quick. Here we go. The last time I filmed and talked, I had just cleared the entire background plants out. So the mountain here and the mountain here were the only thing there, and there was nothing behind it. But since then, it's grown in. So back here behind it, the rotala rotundifolia orange juice is really grown in. Doesn't look like much from above the water here. It looks cooler to me, but on camera it washes out. But it's really neat. So rotala orange juice, if you ever wonder about that, when it's growing in, it's a very nice bright variation of colorata. So the couple of sprigs in there that look a lighter color, I'm not sure if that's orange juice also that had less light. I took the long ones that were creeping down and just sort of lifted them up so they have arrow roots hanging down, but I just wanted to lift those up and see if they get more color closer to the light. So we'll see what happens. The 2 or 3 pieces of pearlweed have started to grow in, and I've clipped them a couple times, so now it's going to be an entire bush again. That will get out of control though, because this little bush right here, the whole thing will turn into pearlweed, and it will be constantly growing this way, and I don't want things growing this way. Like over on this side, the peacock moss with pinnata feet on it, it has bushed out this way. I just reach in there, tuck it, and push it back in, but it is coming this way. So like if you look from the side, here, you can see there's not much room left in the front of the tank. So sorry for the angle. I mean, this looks weird. I'm trying to hold my phone to the side. I have no room. Trying not to run over this guy here. You're in my way, dude. Trying to film. Little boy, he's so sweet. But a couple of plants here. I've had this buse in here for quite a while, but before when I showed it, it was green. It was kind of a green blue. So with a lot of CO2 and some decent light, it has turned pink. I have more of it right here. This piece has been here forever, but it was covered completely by moss. So back here, the rotala pearl mini type 2. It's kind of a purpley yellowy, looks pretty nice, but that's what that is. Right here is rotala macrandra red, and very hard to see, it's buried in here, but decent. Really, I mean, to me it really just kind of looks like another rotala. Even though it's a macrandra, they grow bigger and fatter or whatever. But some of the plants I had trouble with before. This mystery plant turned out to be Ludwigia inclinata, and I thought they were dying off or something, but they were just still converting, kind of. So you can see how nice those guys look. They're real pretty. This is Alteranthera rhynicki variegated. So the variegateds are the ones that have, like, you can see the leafy stripy veins in them. They're pretty neat. I mean, they're kind of a bright red pink. Behind them, the Amania, I can't pronounce the name, like, I'm not even gonna try to pronounce it. A lot of people call it Amania golden. Some people call it Nasea or Nessia golden, but that's wrong. It's an Amania. Right here, the 2 or 3 sprigs I had of this stuff is really grown in, so I'm proud of that. This is Ludwigia. See if I can get a focus on it. This is Ludwigia senegalensis. Very nice plant. It just, I can barely get it. Oh, the little green one, that's newer. That's called like Hatanya. I mean, it looks kind of like a little mini wisteria. The Mint Charlie is doing really good in here. And under higher light with some CO2, Mint Charlie gets a little bit purplish. You can see. So that's neat. This little bitty bush here, I trim it to keep it from getting out of control, but this was a few bare stems that grew back from the dead. These few stems that I had were rotala, rotundifolia red. That's what it's called. And as you can see, rotundifolia red, which like at the 80G and places like that, they sell it a lot. Rotundifolia red looks a lot like colorata, which you can see the orange juice, the little Rotala OJ back there. It's very orangey pink, which is just another variation of colorata. So if you're looking for something real orangey, pinkish, kind of a magenta rainbow color, Rotala rotundifolia orange juice is great. If you cannot get your hands on it, it's hard to find, you can get Rotala rotundifolia red. It doesn't look as bright, but it's pretty bright. If you got high enough light, it's gonna brighten up. In the back corner here, back there, that is Rotala rotundifolia, or that is Rotala colorata. So Rotala colorata, it was bright pink, but for some reason, as it grew into the corner here, it turned from bright pink and kind of went back to green again. You can still see where it was pink before. Hard to see. There we go. But the little part right here, it was very pink. And the new growth has gone back to greenish. So colorata has a really good pinkish tone to it. Like kind of pink, but it reverts back to greenish a little bit easier, like Rotala Singapore is like that. Rotala Singapore and rotundifolia both have really nice pinkish purple colors, but Singapore and colorata, to me, tend to revert back to greenish colors easier. Rotundifolia orange juice and rotundifolia red seem to hold their pink and orange more. I mean, you can see that it's a lot of that's a lot of good color in that. That's really good. Not a lot of hard work into that, just a little bit of CO2 and some decent light. I used to run my lights really high, but for quite a while now I've been running them lower. So the lights on this SB Reef light are running at blue channel 75 with red channel 65 or 70. Now if you look at the red channel, this looks more like a I don't know, like fluval planted ish kind of I don't know, twin star ish, but a little more like, a lot of people really prefer this. I like this, I do, but I kind of more like prefer the bluish side, the purple. Like, look at this buse. This buse here, right here, I'm not sure what kind it is, but if you look at it, it looks nice with the mostly the reds and whites. Here's the red channel. So let's talk about the red channel here. A lot of people prefer the red channel. They pump the red channel with a little bit of the blue. Here's the red channel. You see how it's more some ambers and marigolds and a couple of greens and some reds and a couple oranges. So that looks more like this red channel. Now let's turn off the red channel. This is the blue channel, which this is my favorite. My blue channel comes on first, red channel comes on after a little while. The red channel cuts off earlier than the blue does, so I get the blue before and after. I mean, blue stays on the whole time with the red, but this is what, see the difference in the blue? Still got some of the golds in it, still got a few whites, but it has a lot of blue and a lot of red. This looks kind of more like, you see people with a lot of like T5 setups, they have that kind of real purplish light. Phoenix planted 24/7 has a lot of this purplish look, and I really liked that. On film it looks kind of wonky because, you know, you show people your tank on YouTube and they're like, why is everything purple? But it is what it is. So it kind of looks a little more like this to me. Okay, the camera automatically focuses and washes it like this. I toned down the color a little. It looks more like this to me in person. So that's why sometimes you'll see it go a little darker with more color, and then you'll see it go back like, you know, brighter like that. Here in the background, those are, well, oh, those are rotala walichis. I used to have them really gorgeous purple, but they've kind of gone to purple stem, more of a yellowish, but that's fine with me. That big fat weird one is a Pogostemon, either Kimberly or Stellata type 2, and that is a top. There was a big old fat piece of it, like a big fat bamboo stick that's grown on, and I chopped it off. It's planted right there, and that's the top. So it started to grow back in, but then it sort of like got wilty looking. I mean, that doesn't look real great, but we'll see what happens. Back here, these are limnophylla, however you want to say it. Those are some, the back ones which are partially covered by walichi, so they're kind of green. Those are aromaticas. The ones here below are hyperoides. The hyperoides and aromaticas are sold as the same thing, called the same thing by a lot of people, but they are slightly different plants. But I don't know enough about that to really whatever. So I mean, I can be refuted and argued with on that, and I'm just gonna agree. Hard to see, they're way back there, but they are growing in. They were doing very poorly at first. They're growing in, and they're kind of a purple. They smell so good, aromaticas. Some people use them in Asian soups and things like that, and incenses and kind of stuff like that. The aromaticas smell really good, just like the mint Charlies. I can pull a piece of this out and smell it. It smells like mint. It smells really good. So that smells like a mint. The aromaticas, they smell kind of like this real fragrant smell. Like Bacopa Carolinianas are like that too. They have kind of a funny, lemony, kind of a weird smell. But yeah, back there, these tiny little green guys, those are Limnophylla repens minis, and when they were here in the front, sorry about the light, when they were here in the front, they were doing really great under here. But I pulled them all and I moved them over there to make a little bush, and it's not working out. So, but yeah, little Physidens moss with some variegated Anubias marble, that Nana that I've had forever. These little bitty green guys, those are those pink Sophias that I had. I chopped them to the ground and left the stumps, and then I replanted them in my other low-tech tank to see how they grow. And those stumps are growing back, and that's what those little bitty guys are. Crypt Albida Costada, doing really great here. This thing is so pretty. I know you can probably see me instead of the plant, but man, it's pretty. Crypt Albida Brown by Tropica, that you see everywhere on YouTube, is smaller and more of a reddish brown. There's some Anacris in here. Hey, there's a piece of Hotania. I don't know how that little sprig got in there, but it's growing. It just floated over there when I was cutting. Yeah, it's just hanging there. These little Hygrophila cordata red, or whatever this thing is, they're not doing so hot. I've tried to move them more into the light. But the Pinnatifida that's growing on this stump, I keep clipping and clipping and clipping. And I love it, so I don't get rid of it. But man, it starves the light. So, at the super red plant back here, if anyone does ask, most people might know that's a Ludwigian natans or super red mini. This little green stem here is something I found, and I'm gonna see if it grows underwater. This, of course, is my bright pinkish orange pink, like that red bush that I had of Arcuata, and I just knocked it completely down, so it's in the process of growing back. So that's about what that is. I'm gonna show a little side view of the rotundifolia orange juice. It really looks good. Show this color. So my little background bush of it's finally grown in. You guys can see the baby shrimp. They're everywhere. I got a bunch of blue baby shrimp. Then I have some that are not blue. But I have a whole bunch of them that are blue, and I have some that are speckly, but like you can see this guy here, he is blue but brown on top, like this chocolate on top. Like, it's really neat. I have a bunch of those like that. This little plant is blood vomit, and it was like 3 fat ones, and I've split them, so hopefully these little babies will grow good. Last time these guys kept digging them up, but yeah, little shrimp everywhere. These guys, they're crazy. And you'll see, no matter what I point at, you'll see little pieces of moss in there. I constantly pull those out everywhere. That little bit of the green grass right there, you can see, like this, you can see it here and there. That little grass, that's that hair grass, that mini hair grass that I found, and it happens to be growing pretty great. So you can see I cleared all the room over here. I cleared all this out. All this was just covered in moss, all of it. But back in here, there is hair grass. It is growing, and it doesn't get any taller than that, so that's cool. Because over on my left corner, I've got a few pieces that get really tall, and they'll go halfway to the top. They'll go halfway up the tank, and then I just trim them back down again. That is the longer hair grass that I found behind the Buc-ee's gas station by my house. This one green guy here is a Hygrophila siamensis 53B that I have, and I got a ton of them in my low tech, and I just I stuck a piece in here to see what would happen, but it looks like it's doesn't know if it wants to turn pink or melt. So that's about it, man. That's that tank. If you are still watching this long, boring ass video, here's the 38 gallon low tech, and how it's doing. It's doing good. It's doing really, really good. Hey guys. But yeah, I'll just show you here. That's a Bacopa Caroliniana right there, big fat one. Those are rotala Singapore back there. They're green in here. They were purple in my other tank. This is where I stick my clippings, like little clumps of pearlweed everywhere. That's one Sophia in the background. It does grow great in low tech. It just doesn't get hot pink like in the big tank. But yeah, a Cryptocorn Balance has split and turned into 2 back there, or 3. Hard to tell what's what in here, but that big sprout sticking up, that's Cryptobalance. This long leaf, this is Cryptobalance right here. The background crinkly green one, that's Crinum calamastranum. It's a crinum, everybody asks what that is. The rest of it's just floating plants up there. Some Manubias, mostly Cryptocorn Winties. I have Winty greens and browns in here, but they're hard to tell apart. And this is a big fat Cryptolucens, and I have a bunch of these Cryptolucens. They keep multiplying and multiplying everywhere, and I love them. So the only other thing that's living in here is a big fat Plico and a couple of platies. That's it. I know this video is really long, really boring, but I'm gonna upload this and probably might not upload anything for quite a while. So whoever wants to watch it can, but life's real busy. It's hard to record, and I don't like to record if anybody is walking around awake at all. So thank you.